Yeah.
I really like that intro. I
Me
don't know about
too. I
Yeah,
you
was
me
like it?
literally
too.
thinking about it that the music makes me feel very nice before we start.
Yeah, it's nice. What I like about I like the music too. What I like about the intro is reminding everybody and setting the ground rules for expectations and interaction, and it's very centering.
Yeah.
Um, so I like that. I'm gonna do that with other meetings too. It's just really nice to reconnect to our principles.
I like
Welcome
that
everybody.
music too. I like that music too.
Welcome. We're gonna keep it somewhat brief today. Uh, Maximum half hour. I'm gonna try to go under that. So we are. We've got Galit. We've got Lewis. Jeff is here, and I am here. Nico let us know ahead of time that he's not able to make it. I'm sure he'll catch it on the replay. And Robbie is, I think, trying to sign in, so he'll sign in whenever he can. On the agenda today, we're going to talk about some technological updates that I was able to scrounge up, uh, some free technology, and one paid technology piece that might help us. Going to give a brief check-in about Folsom. I wouldn't want to do a deep debrief after Folsom without Nico, because Nico was such a integral part. But I know everybody's dying to know how it went. I hope you are. And then we'll just have an open floor for to talk about what comes next. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add?
No.
Let me just get up and check what's going on with Robbie. I think Robbie's having some issues. Let me see if I can resolve them. Just 10 seconds, please. All right, everyone, I'm here. Robbie had to reset his computer. Okay. So I've been thinking about our meetings, and I'm doing a big renovation in my own business. And I've been looking at like organizational tools. And I found that Slack has a free pro plan for nonprofits. So I went ahead and applied because it's free and it's probably going to take some time to review. But Slack has a lot of new features, and some of them involve like documenting workflows and assigning tasks to people and setting reminders for meetings. So I'm looking forward to that. Are there any objections to upgrading to the free plan on Slack?
No, not at all.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's great.
I like it. That was a good choice, Nicole.
It was cool. I was trying to get it upgraded for my own business, and then I saw they had it for nonprofits. I was like, whoa, no brainer for me. The other piece of technology is Otter AI, and I wanted to. It's a recording and transcription, and the reason that I bring it up is because I have a paid plan for my business. It's I think $10 a month per seat, per and really you don't need that many seats. You can have one seat for the whole organization. I don't know if that's legal, but we'll check. But the reason I bring it up is because I understand that everyone has been annoyed by these weekly meetings, or that it's like a large commitment and then we talk a whole lot. And one of the things that Otter does is it takes good notes and then sends out summaries. And it's something that we could use on our podcasts, it's on our live streams, and just general in the whole organization, right? If if the idea of our organization is that everybody should be able to participate and tune in whenever, the live stream format is great. The Otter AI format is all the participants get a link and they can read the conversation, and there's a summary of the conversation, and they can comment right in there and add action items and so on and so forth. So just wanted to put that on the table and see what you all thought. I thought that it would help us actually not have weekly meetings. We could potentially check in a different way and then just have monthly longer meetings between the executive board. So it's to reduce time wasting and improve efficiency and our note taking, because I don't know, personally, it looks like all of our meetings are live streamed, and that's great. It's awesome. We're having them regularly, but it's all one big blur. I don't know what we talked about in each one, and it would be a lot. It would be pretty difficult to go into each live stream and really access what we talked about. Just added Robbie. Robbie, I'll give you a super quick debrief. I just brought up Otter AI, and it would cost us $10 a month to have a pro plan, and I suggested it so that we could better keep track of our conversations and action items and comment on specific pieces and invite more people to participate. So that's what we just talked about.
I'm having some technical difficulties, but
No problem. I can I can help raise that money to start, and also help us with like an onboarding and transition process. Has anybody used an AI transcriber before?
Yeah.
Which one?
I use Otter.
Otter.
So I will say.
Have you seen the features that they have with the summaries of the notes and then the commenting and action items creation?
Yeah, so I have used it before. I will say that it is not like I used it a while ago. I don't know how good it is now. I will say that there was a lot of work redoing it just because it did not catch what we were saying properly. So it was like very difficult. I ended up stopping to use it because of that reason, just because like I had to rewrite it all the time. So I'm hoping that in the years since that has happened, it's gotten better. Hopefully with like the expansion of AI and stuff like that, that it will have gotten better and it won't be as much work rewriting everything. So I like the idea of using it just to have a written record of our minutes. We're already live streaming, so it's not like there's anything that we would want to hide or should hide. Like we're very transparent. I don't see any reason not to use it. I just think that whoever is in charge of it needs to just monitor what it actually writes, because some of the things that it wrote were like completely different than what was said.
I imagine that this would be the role of the secretary that we're still that I've been, for lack of a better word, dragging ass on, and I definitely have to revisit that. So that would probably be the work of a secretary. Would you guys everybody else, would you like to just see a sneak peek of what it looks like? So you have an idea of the features. I can keep it very short to about 3 minutes.
Of course, why not?
Okay, I will share my screen. Let's see how I can do that. Present, share screen. Okay, so here is my, can everybody see my screen right here?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what Otter AI looks like. I just had it running during a normal daily check-in with my team. You can rename things like, executive meeting, right? Or this one we had a e-learning check-in, right? So you can name the conversation so you know what you talked about on which day. It has summary keywords, which is really cool, because if we're looking, for a meeting about lifeguards, right? You could just probably type in lifeguards in your search area, and you can see all the meetings in which lifeguards were discussed. It's got speakers. So it recognized me. I manually had to write Desiree and Jarrell's names, but once I wrote the name in once, it was able to identify their voices for the rest. And then it had images from the screen shares. Now, the cool features here, and this is like really what sold it to me, is that it has a summary, right? So probably a secretary would have to clean this up. So invoicing and certification for e-learning courses, that's not that clear. So you would have to, maybe manually adjust the section, but it's got notes, right? Jarrell and I discussed the invoices and approval process, and, me and Desiree discussed setting up a wiki. So it's got really cool, like this cuts out a ton of the work for a secretary. Here's the magic part. The magic part is the takeaways. So if somebody highlights something, it's going to end up being over here. Check this out. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. So, hey, Otter, if Nico comes in late or he doesn't show up to this meeting this week, Nico would be able to see our transcript and then ask Otter, was Nico mentioned, right? And then you would ask it, and it would tell Nico everything that he had to know. Another thing is, like, you can ask it to summarize. How will we process invoices, right? So it read the whole conversation, and you're like, I don't know what we were talking about. I don't understand. Can you just recap it based on the conversation? What would be the answer to this question? So then it types up, and based on the transcript, SuperDive will be using a jot form to process invoices. Okay, so that's like a really cool feature because anybody in our org could theoretically just ask, what the heck is going on? Anyways, action items. So really cool tool for our board meetings, for meetings in general, and for our minutes. So it's not that expensive because at the end you can post it to Slack and anybody can access it. So that's just really the beauty. I think it'll help us stay organized. So, Galit, is that new? Have updates based? Is that consistent with what it was the last time that you used it, or did you see the AI feature? Because
yeah, so it definitely has some updates. I just hope that they are good. Have you used it yet?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I'll go into a meeting and I'll talk for an hour and I'll just be like, what did we end up deciding? Can you tell me? And then it'll give me, oh, you decided that you're going to do it like this. And it's really, for me, it's a game changer. So.
Okay, good.
And if we have meetings with external parties, so let's say we meet with the MBA folks from BARD again, we can very easily share the conversation summary with anybody that attended the meeting in the link too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, on that note, remind me, I have someone I want to meet with.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into that after we finish this topic.
That's it for me. I just wanted to talk about Slack. I wanted to bring up the subject about Otter, and then also bring up the subject but not decide this week about restructuring our meetings so that we have less so that maybe just the big meetings once a month are live streamed and everything else can just go onto Otter, so that we, anybody who cares about looking can search it, but otherwise it would just be like a general monthly executive meeting that would be live streamed.
Awesome. So, on
I hope
to,
that'll free up everybody's schedules too.
I hope so. I mean, I love these meetings, but also like today I'm exhausted and
It's me
like
every Thursday.
yeah. So I mean,
I
I
would
obviously would like for us to get to a place where we don't necessarily have to meet every week and we're still getting stuff done. Because I think these meetings
yeah.
are in place so that we stay on target and we stay like relevant with each other.
For me, it's like a heartbeat, right? And if our heart beats only once a month, then we're going to have 12 chances every year to change something. So if we can maybe have like a text check-in or just maybe some other kind of responsibility to just check in or just be active. I really don't want to be just conducting business once a month. You know what I mean? So maybe, we're going into 2024. It'll be a good time for an election, as well as like revisiting commitment and engagement. And obviously for board members, the commitment will be a little higher, but we want to keep it like virtual or just easy for everybody.
Hi.
How do you, Jeff, Robbie, Lewis, how do you guys feel about just changing the commitment from being a weekly live stream and just using the technology to help us stay on track?
A once a month meeting would work a lot better for me.
And then just a general lurking, like checking in maybe for the board like once a week, just text, like just let's have some kind of sign of life.
I hope you reach your goal of being a professional merman.
Somebody is echoing. Okay, it went away. Okay. All right. You guys, can we move to the next topic, which is just the brief,
I'm planning on becoming a professional Minecraft streamer. Just
somebody's stream. I think it's you, Lewis.
Oh, oops.
All right. I think let's mute everybody by default until they're. Okay, cool. Now, here's the brief version of Folsom, because I know folks have been asking. It was I'll give my 30 seconds, and then Galit, I want to hear from Galit and Robbie. For me, it was better and more important than I had imagined. I knew that we were going to go and spread breath hold safety to a new demographic, and it was way more valuable, way more fun than I thought it was. It really resonated with people, and I saw Nico do a pretty kinky try scuba. There's this one moment where after our pool party, Nico was holding a person and this person had never done scuba diving or anything, and she really liked the water, and there was Nico. They made it like a sensory experience where she had her eyes closed, and he gave her a regulator, and she just floated back into the water, and he was holding her, and there she was just breathing off of a regulator mid-water, and it was this. I remember seeing this and being like, whoa, I've never saw try scuba done that way. I wanted to try it, and the person came out of that experience was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to get into this. And I think Nico ended up selling that person a wetsuit. It was awesome. I wasn't. I know we had theorized and hypothesized that something like that would happen, but seeing it happen and seeing the response that I got as a mermaid at Folsom, that was really, really special. And then my last feeling about Folsom was that it was a lot less family friendly than I had thought. But at the same time, we were in like a queer sports complex, so we were all conducting business and trying to promote queer sports. But all right, Gully, I'll mute myself. How did you share any of those feelings?
Okay, so I really liked the class that you gave. Sorry, my bird has joined and wants to be a part of the live stream. Okay, so I really enjoyed that. I think that it opened up a lot of minds and introduced underwater safety. And I think that because of that, there will be a lot more discussion around it in those circles, and a lot more, a lot less danger for the people involved that came. I think that one was really key. I think that having that maybe even every like quarter or something close to that would be really essential. Just not only in San Francisco, right? We could do it in New York, where you are currently.
I've already committed to hosting them regularly. I'm just looking for a pool that will be cool.
Allow it.
Yeah.
So I thought that. I think that there are definitely ways that Folsom itself could be better done. Just
Yeah.
I think that we were really a big presence, whereas some of the other nonprofits that were supposed to be there were not. And so I think.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the audacity of our presence there, and what we were doing was very audacious.
I think it was really great. And I think that next year we can do it so much better. I think it was a great start. So that's kind of where I'm feeling on that. I think that I also have the same feelings of like, it was a little bit more than I thought it was going to be in some cases. But I am also okay with that, because that was like our first time and we didn't really know what was happening, and it happened.
The fair, not the workshop.
Fair.
The workshop was really tame, actually. The workshop ended up being tamer and more safety oriented than I had envisioned. So
yeah, it was great. And the pool party afterwards, like super tame, just people like talking, a lot of information, a lot of questions. I honestly think that workshop is something that like should be taught over and over and over. So
it was. Did you read the message that we got in the event chat
from Scooter?
That really, man, it's one thing to theorize and hypothesize and say, I think that we should bring this knowledge there, but to get so much positive feedback and to hear, we got a really touching emotional message about an attendee who said, and I quote, So I'm really glad I attended your class. It is helping me process and work through my apprehension, blah, 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 and water and fear of drowning. And so then they had shared a really traumatic experience about something that had happened in the water, and it was really traumatic. They did mention that, for the class that we could have, we could include trigger warnings and stuff like that, which was a really good feedback because a lot of people do have trauma associated with the water. And I think it was, man, to be able to hear that we had been healing for somebody, that was really special and just explains why we do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think all in all, it was really good. I'm excited for next year and to see what we can like work out as far as, especially like, as far as maybe even getting some funding and being more a part of the, figuring out better with the other people in the queer sports complex. I think that's going to be key, just being a little bit more organized next year and knowing what we're getting into now.
Yeah, next year we got to do the wrestling scene, and we have to. Man, Galit, I saw those photos of all the people, and then I saw the dude who had. Oh man, I was just like, dude, I'm glad he got kicked out of our photo booth, but this is some crazy San Francisco stuff. So we.
Anyway, we'll do like a more like detailed recap a different day because I also want
we'll
Nico
do a
to weigh in.
post-mortem. Yeah, Nico was so important, so awesome, more awesome than I had thought that Nico was. I hope you're hearing this, Nico. But Nico should definitely be in a more in-depth of like action items that we should do.
Yeah, and he had some great ideas as far as even getting like booth boxes together and like stuff like that.
Yeah,
we'll do all of that. But I
want to get Robbie's opinion too. I just want to make sure that we're timely and that I get Robbie's opinion too.
Yeah, I also want to make sure that we get to the next action items because we're at a half hour already.
Okay. I want to get Robbie's review. Sorry, Robbie, that we took so long. And then the rest is just open floor.
My view is I actually like that we went away from the typical scuba shows. I personally felt like our time was actually like more like us being there was more appreciated because it was different and people were able to like see something different, and that kind of like attracted them to us. The fact that we were a little bit different, especially that show, we were like very different. But I feel like if we just go to other recreational hobbyist shows and like other places that are similar, like concepts, that we actually probably do better for the committees and like find more people, get more sponsors, get people helping us.
Yeah, for sure. Robbie, you made me laugh because something that Galit said, that we're always so bold at every trade show. We're always like in your face, and just the idea of having a mermaid getting drenched. So I was fundraising by allowing strangers to pour water on me as a mermaid, and I was like, get me wet and donate to charity. And I don't know if that's going to make an appearance at DEMA. If it did, I think everybody would have heart attacks and it would weed out half of the dive industry.
Excuse me, Nicole. I say we do this at Beneath the Sea, and we need to do a similar event like what you did in Folsom and San Francisco here in Philadelphia one day.
We're gonna do it. Our next event is we're gonna have some workshops in New York, and we're scheduling one for New Orleans. So we're gonna talk about that next meeting. I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and and shout out to Eddie Gomez, deeper diver, who did a photo shoot with us on the morning of Thursday. It was an underwater rope art photo shoot. It was so challenging. Galit and Justin, her husband, and Robbie, you guys, we really stretched the limits of like good communication and underwater safety. And I love you guys, and I think that we'll do more of those. So I got a lot of attention, obviously, but for an interest. So it was a good marketing thing.
Yeah. So if we're ready to move on, I want to talk about this meeting that I'd like us to have.
Yes, and I just want to say thank you to Bamboo Reef for hosting and Nico for making magic. And now we can move on.
All right. So I spoke with Heidi at the Vermilion Sea Institute, and it is another nonprofit kind of doing some of the some things that are very much aligned with us. They have a field station in Bahia de Los Angeles in Mexico. And there is some really cool stuff that I think we can do with them. I'd like for our board to get together with their board, like representatives from their company, and for us to talk about the different things that we can do together. I think it'll be a really valuable connection for both us and them. And I think that we talked about different ways that we could combine forces and how we could help each other. And they run all of these different trips, and I think that we can also contribute as dive professionals and contribute on like research side and contribute in just so many different ways. So I want us to set this meeting up of like all of us get together, hash it out, see. So in the meantime, if everyone could look up the Vermilion Sea Institute, I can put it. I mean, I'll put it in everything in the comments so that anyone who's like watching this can also look it up, because they are an amazing organization, and super excited to have spoken to them and to like be even potentially like associated with them. I think it's such a great organization, and they have an awesome whale shark program that I want to take part of. So
of
like,
course you do.
Yeah. So can we make that happen, please?
I'm sure. So set it up for me. Thursdays are good. But let's take like the details and logistics offline and chat in the Slack. And yeah. Oh, this is before we wrap up, I wanted to bring up something that was kind of irking me, but our name again. Yesterday I was looking for like our EIN number and I couldn't find us online. I couldn't find our website. Even when I searched in ProPublica, there's like 5 other companies called the Diversity Initiative, and I was like, "Urgh!" And telling people Diversity Initiative, I feel like is annoying too sometimes. So not, if anything, it would be up for voting for like when we do all the boards and everything, and we would have to vote as a whole nonprofit and everything as a whole organization. But I just wanted to voice that I was annoyed, but that it's so difficult and it's our own fault. My own fault.
Yeah, we can talk about a DBA again, and I think that that's something that we should look into.
People call us Underwater for all the time.
Yeah.
On everything, but whatever. All right. Yeah, so let's wrap this up. If everybody's cool with it, I'll take Robbie, you have to say I since you're off stream. We're gonna end.
And you're muted.
I
bye. Bye,
I say bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye.